Hi everyone, how are you today on this lovely afternoon? This will be a general intuitive reading for everyone watching. The time on this reading is timeless, so if you're watching this video now, in 6 months, 12 months, or in the future, it will relate to you if it's meant to relate to you, either now or in the future. If the messages are for you, you will feel it, you will know it, you will recognize them. If the messages in this reading don't resonate, that's okay. Perhaps the messages in another general intuitive reading will resonate with you. I hope you're all well and I hope you have a lovely day. So today I'm going to be using these cards, these true love reading cards. And I hope something comes through for you today that is helpful and beneficial. So just tuning in and asking for the highest priority pieces of information needed for everyone that is tuning in. Again, I feel as though it's a similar message to what came up yesterday. I do feel like you guys have been, some of you have been going through a hard time or a tumultuous time or a really confusing time where you've been trying to understand the ways of the world, the ways of the universe, the ways of your heart, the way other people work, the way the world functions, the way people articulate themselves, and how that in turn relates to you. It feels to me like you've been spending a lot of time mentally trying to understand or educating yourself, even reprogramming yourself on the truth of all that is, rather than being so confused or caught up in the way you think life is or the way you think you would like life to be. It actually feels to me like you're being quite the words I'm getting is level-headed or intelligent in figuring things out for yourself. I don't see yourself as being falling asleep or being in the dark so much, or perhaps the words I'm looking for is, it's kind of like the word I'm getting is in denial, just about the truth of all it is. And it really feels to me like, and this is similar to yesterday's reading, is there's a continuation going on of letting go and of allowing the truth of all it is, and the truth that wants to be available to you being available, rather than forcing an ideal of what you would like the truth to be on everything and on everyone else. So I'll just start the reading. What I'm going to do is a past, present, future reading. So for the past, I pulled this card, which is the emotional freedom card. Now, I read the cards intuitively, so although there is a book, although the cards do come with a book, I don't read the book to get my information. I just get my information from Spirit and my higher self. You guys can do the same. This is a skill that can be learnt. Everyone has access to the truth of all that is and their higher self. So if this is a skill you have or a skill you're wanting to learn, it is actually just your intuition. I've just studied and made it my life purpose doing this, so it is something you guys can do as well. But yes, so basically the last 3 to 6 months you've been processing a lot of really hard to understand things to process. It's kind of like doing your thesis or your PhD on your emotional intelligence, and you've been letting go of a lot of really very difficult things that you had accumulated or come to a point in your life which you honestly thought would be a part of your future and a part of your life, and you honestly felt as though you had a very strong understanding of your emotional intelligence. However, I guess sometimes the world and the universe has a different message for you, and it's shown you in quite a harsh way, I guess, as a reality check that you needed to re-educate yourself. Now, this isn't something that you can study. This has been an emotional, almost like an inner, the words I'm going to use, like an inner trauma or an inner healing that you've had to go through. I wouldn't be surprised if you've been, although you've been functioning in the world, just very, it feels to me like very disconnected, in the sense that you've been just doing you, very insular, going through your own stuff. And that's been really, really, really quite hard. So there's been some really difficult truths that you've had to face, and they're very private. It doesn't feel like I need to go into those too much, but a lot of grieving, a lot of internal grieving for the truth of what you thought was, and acceptance about what the truth actually is, and the way actually life is turning out for you and going to look for you. It's not a negative card. I don't get it's a negative reading at all. It's just a huge internal grieving process is what I'm getting, and it's been very intense. So that to me feels like the last 3 to 6 months. The present moment is really self-realization. The card I got is luminosity. And again, there is a book that comes with these cards. It's a great book. It's a great set of cards. I use these cards all the time, but I read them intuitively. So I use my my heart and my soul and my intuition to get the messages, not the book. So this is basically self-realization. So this to me is a card where at the present moment you're coming to have a lot of peace, a lot of calm, a lot of quiet, a lot of self-realization. The struggle I get for a lot of you is over, or you're allowing the struggle to be over. Does anyone know of the place you go to meditate? I forgot what it's called, Vipassana, I think, where you sit in silence for 7 days. And apparently, I haven't done it, but apparently you have to sit there in silence and meditate. And then even if an ant or a spider or a bug crawls on you, the idea is that you don't be disturbed by this thing. You don't allow the outside influences to disturb your inner peace. You just let it walk and do its thing on you until it walks off. This for me is self-realization. So you're coming to a lot of inner peace and letting a lot of the inner turmoil go, and having a lot of the inner conflict, I get, is coming to an end, where you are allowing life, or more this world, so this realm, because this world is a realm, you're allowing this realm not to get under your skin so much. So many of you may or may not have already come to realize that you do or don't come from this planet. And for those of you that have recognized that you don't come from this planet, life may have been very confusing energetically or internally for you to conceptualize or understand or overcome, because it is like an oxymoron. It's kind of like the complete opposite of how you would do things, and it defies logic as to how you would. It doesn't make any sense as to how the way this world functions, as to the way you feel as though the world and people should function. But it feels to me like you found a lot of peace in the present moment and at this present time, in just allowing things to be, in allowing things to be sort of like I am the I am. It's like the truth of all that is. It's like you're not trying to fight the system anymore. You're not trying to change the system anymore. You've just come to a place of acceptance that this is the system, and that by the system I mean this world, the earth, this realm, the frequency, the energetic intensities of being here. but you're starting to be okay with that awareness. Rather than wanting to shift that awareness, what you've actually done is you've shifted yourself. So it's kind of like saying you want to eat tropical food like mangoes and coconuts, and you're getting curry and Indian, and not that there's right or wrong with either or. However, you didn't ask for a curry dish or a stew or something heavy. You're wanting tropical fruit, something light, and you're being served a very heavy, dense experience. And so, regardless of that, you've come to terms and found an inner peace within yourself to realize that this is just the way the world works. This is just the way the world processes energy, and that it's not a reflection of you, that the true reflection of you is actually your true self and how you feel on the inside, not, I guess, the way you are received on the outside. So this to me is a really, really, really positive card. I just want to commend all of you. If this does resonate with you, this reading, I really just want to say congratulations, and just how hard you've been working, bringing up emotions for me. As an empath, I feel everything. So I feel what others are feeling. I'm very sensitive, and I just want to say that you've done a really amazing job at just keeping on going through the struggle, and things are going to ease, or things have started to ease, and I feel like you've started to realize that. So from my heart to yours, I just want to also say I'm really proud of you, and just a massive congratulations, because it feels like you've overcome, it really feels like you've overcome a lot, and I'm really proud of you. So great. This card, I just want to hold this card up again, and what I'll do is I'll send you the energy that I'm receiving. So for everyone who's watching this video from now until forever, if you're ever watching it again or in the future, what I'll do is I'll connect to your hearts, and I'll share the energetic download, or the energetic frequency of the it's really self-worth is what I'm getting. So I'll hold the card up, and I'll just do that for you for a few moments. Okay, so here's the card. I hope it's focusing. Let me see if it's focusing. Let me see if I can get it to focus for you guys. And then I'll just send you the frequency of what I'm receiving. Oh, you know what I just realized? Look in her heart. Look what she's doing with her hand. Her heart's open. So just again, from my heart to yours, a massive congratulations on the tireless effort you put into your lives, and the internal work, the internal struggle that you've been going through, but just the internal work you've done to overcome your inner conflict. A lot of peace of mind is coming over a lot of you at the moment, and if you haven't started to feel that, that will start to come in the next 3 to 6 months. But a lot of you watching this video will already understand and feel what I'm feeling. So the future card, I got this card. This is a beautiful card. Look at this one. So the first thing I get when I pick up this card is just happiness. It's like I just hear singing, and I can hear birds. Have you guys ever gone out in spring? Sometimes because we live in the world, we don't take advantage of nature or the sounds of the birds or the beauty around us. We just take it all for granted. But sometimes if you lay on the park on the grass, or sometimes after you've been in the city, or when you wake up in the morning, you can hear the birds singing, and you just get a real sense of the beauty of this realm and of this world. And regardless of what you're going through or the way life seems to be working out for you. But if you have a look at this card, the girl is sitting in the boat behind the rocks, which seems very dark and gloom. But she's she's ready. She's ready to take action. She's ready to move forward. And if you have a look here behind, what's waiting for her behind, and that could be her or him, but what's waiting for them behind the rocks, behind the doom and gloom, is happiness. And I just get this sing song. You know that song? I can't sing to save myself, but that song, I'm tiptoeing through the tulips. I'm tiptoeing through the tulips. I can hear that, and it's like I can see in my imagination little children, little girls running through long grass with tulips, with spring and summer dresses on, and there's a real sense, kind of like the sound of music. There's a real sense of just peace and happiness and self-control coming into your life. But it's not necessarily that this realm, there's been a lot of talk, and you may or may not understand this, and if it resonates, great. If it doesn't, that's okay. You can, perhaps another reading will resonate for you another time. But there's been a lot of talk of the new earth and what happens when the new earth happens. And I think a lot of misunderstanding on when the new earth happens and we all ascend, that I don't know, that waterfalls will fall from the sky and that harp music will start playing. That's true in one sense, but it's not true in the sense that the earth is the earth. What actually shifts is your ability to understand and break down the frequency of the earth. So you become better at being at peace with this realm and at peace with understanding who you are, where you're from, if not from planet Earth, from wherever you're from, and being happy to be in this realm. Like I said, instead of wishing and hoping for tropical fruit, you are actually okay and start to enjoy the food you've been served, which might be curry or stew, which is the complete opposite. It's a bit like this earth. I don't think many of you, and again, if these ideas are too far-fetched, just leave them. But for those that resonate, I don't think for many of you this experience may not have been the experience you had expected by coming to Earth, and it was a bit of a shock, or it has been a shock in your lifetime, and the heartache and the hardships that you've had to overcome have been big life lessons. But you're coming through all that now, and happiness and joy are waiting for you. They are just around the corner, and you're ready. So if you see the girl now, she's glowing, she's dressed in color, she's ready. She's just about to, just a little more time, tiny little bit more time before you're going to take action and go around the corner. It's like you're getting all your ducks in a row, dotting all the I's, crossing all the T's. Don't feel ashamed that you take your time. It's really interesting because a lot of people get disheartened because in this society we get so wound up on, you finish school, you go to university, you get a job, you find your career, you get married, you have babies, life's perfect, blah, 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 blah. But in all sense of the word, that's not actually how life works for many people. Don't feel disheartened if you've taken your time to understand yourself, if you've taken your time to self-realize, if you've taken your time to grow your business, if you've taken your time to really find yourself and find true happiness. There's nothing wrong with taking your time. Like, the words I'm getting is tell everyone else to fuck off. That sounds intense, but seriously, it's like, this is your life, this is your experience, this is your opportunity to feel and go through things the way that you choose. You really are self-realized when you realize that. So just sitting with yourself is not a negative. And if that's taken time for you, just be proud of the fact that you have actually taken the time to self-educate and self-realize. The card I pulled is this card. And again, I don't read the book, so sometimes I don't read the words at the top. I just look at the picture and tune in. And what I'm getting is this: you have taken your time to self-realize. A lot of people might see this as being you've taken a long time to mature, or that you're immature. I don't see necessarily you being immature in a sense that you're a bad person. For me, the immaturity is just a soul-like presence, or a childlike presence. I actually see it being quite funny and quite hilarious. I'm getting a giggle. I can hear a giggle. It's like I think you're actually a really funny person, but I think you're really misunderstood. And I think it feels to me like you've taken this time to really have true understanding of who you are and how you fit into this world. It can be really, really, really hard when you assume something different. You assumed it would be something different than what it is. It's trauma, but it's a version of trauma. So it's not like necessarily abuse as such as in trauma, but it's trauma as in you expected the experience on earth, or to be human, to be different than what you're living. And it's not necessarily that you've had a bad time, it's the internal conflict you've given yourself. So yeah, so if you're taking your time to take action, don't necessarily see this as being a bad thing, is what I'm getting. Because in the future, and the future I see is the next 3 to 6 months, or, well, 1 to 3 months, but really 3 to 6 months, is that it's all there waiting for you. You've done all the inner work. You're doing everything you can to be a healthy human being in this time. But you are taking your time. See the girl down here? She is taking her time. She just wants to be ready. It's kind of like going to a water park and jumping off one of the platforms. It's not that you're not going to do it. You just need to psych yourself up. And having peer group pressure doesn't help. So sometimes retreating, which is what you've been doing over the last 3 to 6 months, is necessary just so that you can find yourself, and be comfortable with yourself before you express yourself. And again, the card I pulled for that was this card, which you've been doing the inner work. So the words I'm getting as well is that everyone can just, and I'm going to swear, and if you don't like my language, then perhaps don't watch these videos, but tell everyone to fuck off, because you're doing it your way. You're doing it your way, and your way is perfect. Your way is perfect, and your way has been hard. So, and it's like, this is a card I got. Your way is perfect. Your way is perfect, but your way has been hard, and no one but you is ever going to really truly understand what it's been like to have such inner conflict during this time. It's been excruciatingly difficult, and I understand that, but you guys have survived and you've come through the other side, and you should be feeling nothing but amazingly proud of yourself and of the work that you have done to get here. So the overall energy of the card I pulled was this one, the distorted feminine. And again, I don't necessarily go by the titles of the card. I just tune into the energy in the picture. But it's like salvation, self-realization. You've come out of your shell. You're coming out of a lot of darkness, and you're basically rising up into the light, and you're doing it in your own time. And it's no one else's business. It's no one else's business. So let's just pull a couple more cards. I think that makes total sense, though I just want to get some clarity around, just bringing it all together for you. Okay, so a few cards just flew out of my hand. Hang on a sec. So what I'll do is I'll hold them up to you to show you, but I'll read them as a group because they've all come out. So these are the cards that I got. This one. This one. This one. This one. So 4 cards came out. And for me, instantly what I get is just self-realization, is self-accreditation. And you're going to go through a period of falling in love with yourself all over again. Some of you may have really liked who you were as a child, and you kind of have felt like you've lost that connection or that soulful understanding or childlike innocence or childlike view you've had on yourself and the world and people. Perhaps you haven't found it as easy to be as humorous and giggly as you were as a child. But what I'm getting now is that you are becoming fully conscious and self-aware, and for me that's just it's internal intelligence, it's emotional intelligence, it's knowledge, it's power, but not in the ego mind. It's your true self's understanding and self-realization. And what I'm just getting here is that especially the next 3 to 6 months, you're just going to spend some time. I see you still being internalized, but getting to know yourself again. And it actually feels like you're going to have a really fun time dating yourself. And for those of you who are listening, when was the last time you actually went on a date with yourself? When was the last time you really enjoyed your own company and got excited about spending time with yourself? This is the perfect time for you guys to re-educate yourself on your likes, your dislikes, and the things that bring you happiness and joy. I wouldn't be surprised if you found that over the last 10 years, your likes and dislikes have actually completely changed, and that you have actually grown up and matured. And growing up and mature doesn't mean that your likes and dislikes grow up and mature. It just means that they shift and change. And perhaps you've been so busy surviving or struggling that you haven't realized that they actually have they have changed. So in our neck of the woods here, it is spring. I had to think about that for a minute. It is spring. New beginnings are coming. I'm getting some information about just money. And again, yesterday's reading was similar, but not necessarily that you're going to be getting millions and millions of dollars, but just that your money is you're going to be better at managing or understanding money because you're in a better space, because you're in a better headspace and a heart space. The energy around you is going to be in a better headspace and a heart space. And I just get dating as well. For those of you who are in a relationship, this message isn't for you. For those of you who are not in a relationship, prepare to start dating. Prepare to start being asked out on dates. Prepare to start being wooed, romanticized, and loved in ways that you never thought possible. People are going to start to see your reflection because you're starting to see your reflection, and you're also coming out of your hidey hole. You're coming out of your cave. And that could be because, one, it's winter, it's the end of winter, and you've been hibernating. Two, it's a metaphor for life. Like, you really have been internalizing. So I keep just getting an energy to just pull a couple more cards. So we'll do that for you. So just asking for the highest priority message for everyone watching this to receive. So the first thing I get, this is the card I got. I just get, you've got nothing to worry about. I get everything that you want is coming to you. You just have to let go of the way in which that was going to happen. So you're doing that. You're doing that. You've done that. And I'm really, really, really proud of you. This is the other card I pulled. And for me, this is self-realization. And on every meaning of the word. So for those of you who understand that on a deeper level, use that the way it works. For those of you that understand that it's just having higher intelligence or emotional intelligence or knowledge of the self, it's really coming into your own. It's starting to feel really confident in who you are as a person, who you are as a soul, who you are as a human being, your body, mind, and soul all integrating into one, and you letting go of a lot of the fundamentals of the way you thought this world works, and just letting go of believing this world should be any different than what it currently is, and being at peace with the way things are playing out and with the way things do play out, and just really letting go, surrendering. I think the message of the day is you are surrendering. It's not even surrender. It's you are surrendering. You have surrendered, and now what is happening is your dreams are coming true. Your greatest dreams are now going to start coming true because you have surrendered really to you. You have surrendered to your inner conflict. You have surrendered to your internal dialogue that things should be any different than the way they currently are. I'm really, really proud of you. For those that resonate to this reading, thank you for taking your important time to tune in and listen. I'm going to be doing these intuitive readings a lot. I absolutely love tuning in. Like literally, I think I'm obsessed with tuning in. I do it all the time. I do mentor and coach people, but I always do readings for my friends and family all the time, just for fun. So I've decided to share that with all of you as well. So if you're tuning in and you're listening and you're a part of my videos, fantastic. I hope you're well. Have a lovely day. I really love you, and I'm really grateful that you took this time to watch this video. Yeah, I'll see you next time. I look forward to, I'm really guided by spirit, so I really just go with my intuition as to what to do. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what I'm being guided to next and what cool things I get to read for you guys. Yesterday was a cool plant. I've already been guided to read a pot plant out the back, so I'll have to post that one later. Today I was sitting here, these beautiful cards were sitting here. Well, I use these all the time. For those who are interested, there they are. But yeah, take care. Love you. Have a lovely afternoon. Okay, see you next time. Bye.